Hey there YouTube, I'm back at you with yet another video. In today's video I want to feature the AMX CDA 105, which is the tier 8 premium tank destroyer, French tank destroyer. And on this game we are on Fisherman's Bay against tier 6s, which doesn't happen very often on this tank. And I'm gonna pause here for a sec to show you the ammunition on this thing. It has like 1525 meters a second and 260 penetration, and that right there is why I have like what 500 or 600 games on this thing. It is one of my favorite tier 8 premium tanks. It has such insane good shell velocity and really good penetration, which means you don't really need to shoot gold ammo, right? And that's what you want from your premium tank, so you can make a lot of credits. But even the heat, look at that, 310, you'll shred tier 10 heavy tanks without any problems with whatsoever. And you got 1000 shell velocity. It's not epic, but it's not bad either. So yeah. And with that being said, as you could see, or as you can clearly hear, there are no engine sounds. So does that mean I have to restart the replay? But the thing is with these replay bugs is the second you restart the replay, as you will see right now, the ammunition loadout disappears. So yeah, and sometimes the whole client freezes on you, and you have to like close it, shut it down, and restart it. So you'll end up like spending just an hour trying to record the stupid game. So yeah, we're back with the engine sounds, but as you can see, the ammo loadout is gone. It doesn't matter. And if you look up top, this is the kind of ping that I play with on the EU server. It's not, it's not the most competitive ping, like 30 or something, somewhere around 50. It could be like the most competitive, but it's not like, hardly ever do you get those kind of lags that like make you miss shots and stuff. I mean, you get them, but they're not really as often, So yeah. And on this game, let's see if we can lower the graphics a little bit. Yes, we can. And this game we are on Fisherman's Bay against tier 6s. And playing this tank, let me tell you one thing. You don't get this kind of matchmaking very often. Mostly you're either in a tier 9 or a tier 10 game. That's what you're gonna see most of the time. And with this kind of tank, you can look at the hit points. There are only 1000 HP, which is really, really low. I think 1200, 1150 would have been, actually nicer, because you don't have to like worry about getting one-shotted by tier 10s like Jack Pizza, the Yak Panzer E100 can one-shot you pretty much. So one mistake and you're dead. You got the Trash Barn can one-shot you, the Death Star can one-shot you. Let's not even mention the fact that you can get ammo racked, right? From the 750 alpha damage guns. Yeah. At tier 10, that's where this tank will struggle, right? Because one thing about this tank also I want to mention is that the bloom. Oh my gosh, I have struggled so much with the bloom. The aiming time and the bloom, like when you go from full movement to stationary, that's where the struggle begins, because it blooms out a lot, making the aim time really horrible. So you can't snapshot in this thing. Although you can do that with like, I don't know, I play the SU-100, tier 6 Russian tank destroyer, which I've 3 marked, and with that thing I can snapshot like a boss, especially medium range. I basically have if I'm seeing the majority of the tank, I don't even need to aim, just to half-ass aim it and it will go wing 90% of the times. With this thing, no, it will not go wing. Probably will not even go in 10% of the times. So yeah, with this thing you learn to fully aim. And one thing I would like to also highlight, it's called the AMX Chasseur de Chat. No, wait a second. What's it called? Canon d'assault. Right. That's CDC. That's called Chasseur de Chat. The CDA, which stands for Canon d'assault, which I think means in English assault tank. Yeah. With this thing, you can't be assaulting anything. Especially, like, you definitely don't want to be assaulting anything in a tier 8 game. If you try to do that, you're gonna end up in the garage. I think you gotta love the chat in World of Tanks. It's so friendly. If you try to like play aggressive with this thing, you're gonna end up in the garage. And as you can see, we are sitting here at the back. We're racking up the damage, and that's how you should play this tank. This is what this tank is good for, because not only do you not have armor, right? Because you have armor when you're hold down, but you need to be medium range. Why you need to be medium range? Because you have a huge, gigantic. Let's see, maybe the replay camera won't troll us this time. Look at that. Look at that cupola. Oh my gosh, you could probably hit that from I don't know where, from the Atlantic. You can aim at that and still manage to hit it. So yeah, look how big it is. With this thing, you kind of need to be using your gun depression, which is not a lot. I think it's 8 or something like that. Hiding your lower plate. Then you have armor, but then again, as I said, needs to be medium range. If it's in close range, and I tried to be like play aggressively with this thing in the close range, I'll show you a video where I tried that, like to play that aggressive against tier 8s, and yeah, it didn't turn out so well. Well, back to what I was saying, yeah. You gotta play it in the medium range so people can't hit your cupola, right? Then you can, like, this whole thing, it becomes really hard to penetrate because the gun mantlet is protecting it, right? So yeah, and that's how you should play this tank, covering this whole part. But like, how many times are you gonna get that like opportunity to play like that? But not only that, I mean, most of the times you kind of need to be providing your tank destroyer after all. You need to be providing, as you can see, they're moving up. I'm the only guy that's provided them with support fire so far, 2.5 thousand damage. And it's only been 5 minutes, right? When we're in 8-7. So if I wasn't using my gun all this time, if I was like trying to move up, I probably not only would not have had this damage, but I probably would have taken damage as well, right? Because I would have been spotted. So yeah, let's continue with the replay. We're at 2.5 thousand damage, 2 kills. We had a great game so far, or we're having a great game so far, because our team is spotting for us, and we're just, you know, shooting from the left, from the right. And now we lost the mid, as you can see. M6 was the only tank left in the middle, and I think I want to talk a little bit about this map and my opinion overall. Maybe if our IS-3A didn't bother with this side, right? Because it's from the city, it's really hard to push. The team usually who pushes first is going to lose. If our IS-3A sat here, you know, he stopped here, he can play here, he has plenty of armor. That tank is basically almost defender level, almost. He can hold the middle, and the enemies will not push because there is an IS-3A in the middle, which has like 1.2 thousand burst damage. Can deliver that in 4 seconds, I think, or 5 seconds. Regardless, if he sat here, there's no way in hell anyone can push, because anyone that tries to push, he will slaughter them. There's the TNH, right? The TNH that's below there. He's got some burst fire if he's using the like, not the stock, but it has 3 guns, this tank, but the middle gun, right? It has like 640. It can pump that damage in 3 seconds, I think. So yeah, that's it. They just have a crossfire over the city, and the enemies will not be able to push the city. Because here it's like kind of useless, right? I mean, you just wait until the heavy tanks are spotted, and if they're sitting in the open for you, which means they're Muppets, right? If they're sitting in the open for you, they're not side scraping, or they're exposing their weak spots, then you can shoot them. That's like literally what you do on this map. When I play heavy tank, I immediately blacklist this map. I fucking hate it. It's so unplayable. You have to go in the middle to actually play, because you can't push the city, right? And you just sit there. What if which is usually the case in my situation, it's always my team the one that is pushing. They all push, they get farmed by the medium tanks here, or the TDs are sitting in the back here, or here. And then it's like, game over. Down 4 tanks, and if you sit in the back, you're not going to get anything. If you go in front with them, you're going to die with them. So it's like, that's why I hate it with a heavy tank. Even if you sit here, like I'm saying, the ICA can sit here, and he can because he has plenty of armor in the +2. What I was saying is, like, if you were in equal matchmaking, when you're in the +2 with a heavy tank, a really good heavy tank like the IS-3A that has plenty of armor, you can afford to go in the middle. Because even when the light tanks outspot you, because usually that's why I don't like to go with a heavy tank to the middle when I'm in equal matchmaking. But light tanks can outspot you, and you'll take damage because you're gonna, even though you haven't fired, you're just sitting in like next to the building, like the building that's here. You're just sitting there trying to, get some spots here. And what happens? The light tank can easily outspot you in those bushes. You're a heavy tank. He has plenty of camo, plenty of more view range. He can easily outspot you. So does the medium tanks. If they're packing either binos or optics, they can easily outspot you. So it's like super unplayable for heavy tanks, this map. I hate it. So I immediately block it. Now, I went on like full rant about this map, let's continue watching here. I came here because since I noticed we lost the middle, I can't like an idiot sit here, and keep waiting for spots on the TS5, which I can see the 480p is pinging, is probably, wondering why am I not shooting him. And I came here because I knew that these guys might try to come here. And if they do that, come here, they can farm our heavy tanks, right? And I can't allow that. So I came here to prevent them, waiting for them, if they try to push. So the T-30-485, since he decided to leave, and I think the reason why is probably because the 480p was shooting him on the side. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense for him to leave the middle, because that was a really strong position, and he should have held that, in my opinion. And yeah, that means we can come here and farm all the tanks that are sitting here without getting detected, as long as we use the bushes properly, right? And by using the bushes properly, like that shot went in, I think, is falling back behind the bushes and shooting. And SU-130 PM managed to have a really great game by, crafting some bushes here. You can do that, knock down trees. I tried that with when I play Tank Destroyer from this side, and I see like the enemies trying to make pressure to clear this side. If you have like a tank like a TS5 holding them back, oh my, you can have an amazingly great game from this spot, providing you knock down the trees and you create like a really bushy kind of place here, so the enemies cannot spot you, and you can double bush. And if there is a really tank with like really good armor, just like the TS5 is doing behind the house, the enemies can't do shit and they cannot dig you out. It's impossible. I don't care what tier. I don't care if it's tier 10 or a tier 9. Like, as you can see, he has 4 kills so far. We shut down the TS5, and he was like the most annoying for our team, right? Because now that he's dead, the 480p, it's not impossible for him to deal with the SU-130, but 480p to deal with a TS5 that has SU-130 PM's support, it's impossible. And for me to go try to fight TS5 when he has like a really good spot and SU-130 PM supporting him is just something I'm not willing to do. because TS5 has an insane DPM, the SU-130 has insane alpha damage. It's just not gonna work out. Plus the TS5 has trollish armor, right? So like they had really good defensive position. Now the SU-130 PM decided to move, and that's where I became concerned. And I said that we are at 3.2 thousand damage, and we have 2 blind shots, so keep that in mind. So we are sitting at 4,000 damage. And I decided to get the hell out of here, because the SU-30 PM now is moving, and what does that mean is he can go like this, he can go like this, outspot me, right? And if I was to sit here, he can easily outspot me and kill me. Although I could have probably made pressure for him, but I don't know why I didn't. It would make sense for me to push him, but I decided to take the alternative decision and went defensively, because let's face it, you can push him, but what if he's in a Russian tank destroyer, he just with 5 kills he can just shoot you, ammo rack you, and then you're sitting there like, maybe if I played defensively we could actually win this, because any sort of play from my side right now could basically mean I'd be dead. And not just that, but we could lose the game. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure you all know what it's like to just, you had victory, you were this close to victory, but now you are dead. You are having an amazing game, but unfortunately you are dead, and you have to watch your teammates fail at carrying the game. Yeah, it can be pretty painful. Since I saw the SU-30 PM like jump into the dip, I don't even need to pause, because most of the gameplay will not, like nothing would happen in the next few seconds. So SU-30 PM jumped into the dip, and I thought maybe he will make pressure like this, right? Because he wants to outspot me. He could do that. He could come like this. Or alternatively, he would go like this. If he goes like this, obviously, like my position here is kind of useless. Although, I can shoot the enemies if they try to make pressure from the city. And that's what I decided to do. Just sit here and wait. Maybe they will be impatient. And that's what that's what I'm hoping for. Because if I go after the SU-130, it could turn out ugly. He has a turret, I don't. You never know what could happen, right? So just play it safe. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I can load HE, get trolled. Because if I load HE, I think he would be a one-shot for me. Shoot him and get trolled. And then I have to shoot him again, which means he will probably shoot you again. And if he shoots you twice, you're dead. If he was full HP, you would need to shoot him 3 times. So yeah. And even though I have such low alpha, we have basically almost the same reload time. I think I would reload a second or 2 before he does. I don't know his reload, like the exact reload, but yeah. Or I can just, just sit here and get more damage for myself. Spotting assist. And yeah. We are at 3 kills, 3.2 thousand damage, 600 assist, and we have 2 blind shots, and we managed to pick off another kill here. Finish off the T-30 485, their tier 6 Russian medium tank. And at this point, I think it's time to move, because just to sit here now is just completely useless, in my opinion. But I think at this point, I had actually, I wasn't quite warmed up for World of Tanks, because I took a break from the game for a few months. So I wasn't really actually, I was still kind of concerned about the game. But finally, I chose to move and go look for the SU-130 PM, which, spoilers, he's actually in the city. And I did not expect that. I did not expect he would go sit like next to his allies. That was... He managed to get another kill, but I didn't get to him in time, and yeah, that's pretty much the whole game. Now I'll see you with the post-game stats. I'm back with the post-game stats, guys, and as you can see here, I managed to get high caliber, 4.5 thousand damage, top by XP, just, you know, playing it safe, 4,000 damage from the 300 meter distance, and we still managed to get, even though we were against tier 6s, we still managed to get, we didn't get ace though, we still managed to get on top IXP. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's just see, because SU-130 PM was not spotting for himself, the TS5 was. Let's see how much spotting TS5 has. Damage upon detect. That's it? He has 6 kills. Who else was spotting? Let's see, there was the T-78, the Yak Panzer, Super Chaffee. Showdown. Okay, so it was like split. Yeah, it was split around his entire team, I guess. So yeah, but somehow I just assumed the TS5 would have more assistance. That's pretty much the game, and I think with a premium account we would have made more. We would have made more credits, but that's it. Look how many credits we've lost. 25,000. That's it. Yeah, this one is actually a really good credit maker, but it's not just that, like your typical TD, you know, like SU-130 sit in the back. With this thing, I tried to I'm struggling to put the second mark on it, because you need like 2.6, 2.7, I think, thousand combined. And I struggle, especially in games that I win. It's hard to actually go in front, especially when you don't have a turret to try, you know, like chase. I don't know if I want to call it chase damage, but like how to approach your enemies. It's really hard, right? When you're winning, when you're losing, sure, you just sit at the back and farm. But when you're winning, that's when it's hard to get damage with tank destroyers. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That pretty much is the game, and that's it. Playing this thing, yeah. You don't, as I said, you don't assault. You just sit in the back, snipe, and when the game is close or the game's close to being over, you can go in front and chase the damage. Because it has the speed to do so, right? Anyways, that's it for today's video, and hope you liked it. If you liked it, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. I'll be uploading from time to time, and you trust me, you don't want to miss them, because I'll give you sometimes some tips and tricks on some maps, and you know, you could learn something probably, or maybe you can teach us something in the comments. So yeah, take care, guys. See ya.